This is a series of 100 films about Japanese foods that I've eaten, and this is a film about salmon. My ex-girlfriend would always complain at least twice per week. Canadians, she said, all you ever eat is salmon. And it was hard to argue with her. She had worked in an upscale sushi restaurant in Toronto when she was on her working holiday visa. And the thing is, I couldn't understand this criticism while I was living in Japan because I'd gotten used to Japanese sushi. Uru. But the moment I came back to Toronto and visited some sushi restaurants, I kept wondering, why is the only fish I can get salmon? It's like you can't even order fish half the time you go to a sushi restaurant in North America. All they want to serve you is California rolls or rice wrapped around tempura or avocado. Despite this, in Japanese cuisine, salmon's pretty common. I mean, the typical bento box, the cheap lunch you get on the go, usually consists of rice, some pickles, and fish. And almost like, fish and chips except with rice instead of French fries, with a choice between a mysterious white fish or salmon. Also, smoked salmon is quite common in Japan at fancy department stores. They sell elaborate hors d'oeuvres with lox combined with other delights. Uru. But of course, you probably want to know about sushi, so I made a short list. I call it my 3 top types of Japanese salmon sushi. Number 3 is the giant piece of toro salmon. It's usually more expensive because it comes from the fatty belly of the salmon, and the piece of fish on this sushi is enormous, almost a meal in itself. Number 2 is straight sake. That's the other name for salmon. It gets confusing because alcohol is sake as well. Basically, with alcohol, you refer to it as osake, the honorable alcohol. If you say osake, there's no ambiguity. Also, lots of Japanese pronounce the word for salmon as shake as opposed to sake. Basically, any salmon that is smoked, marinated, or used in sushi is called salmon. All other uses of salmon, it's called sake or shake. Confused yet? Well, all you need to know is that this piece of salmon is garnished with sliced green onions and mayonnaise, and it is phenomenal. And finally, that's right, you guessed it, number 1, aburi salmon. Take raw salmon, cut it into bite-sized pieces, place it on vinegared rice, then run a blowtorch lightly over the top, ensuring that the top layer is singed. As with sake, garnish with sliced green onion and drizzled with mayonnaise, you now have the perfect order of sushi. And there you have it, the best ways I know how to eat salmon in Japan. The word of the day. The word of the day is uru. It means to sell in Japanese, as in, do you sell oranges? Oranji o売りますか? It's a good compliment to cow, which means to buy. So if you want to remember this word, feel free to watch this video 10 more times and repeat along with me, or at least that's what I do. Next time. So that's it until next time. We look at all the ways Japan uses eggs to avoid eating meat. So until then, sayonara.